Episode 7 of Sam is a Tool time, produced by Bill Rennie. Today we're going to talk about sandpaper. Now it's really exciting. First off, I'm going to say that I think that this video I'm going to, I'm obviously shooting it on my real camera as opposed to just on my phone, and I think I'm going to edit it and actually put it on YouTube because the videos have been doing really well on Facebook. In an attempt to completely fuck that up by putting it on YouTube, I'm going to try to put it on YouTube. Sandpaper. The first thing that I'm going to talk about is old furniture like this. They're usually covered in some sort of lacquer. If they're painted like this one was, an oil-based, super hard, glossy lacquer. And the first thing that you're going to find out when you try to sand it is that within 30 seconds, you're going to load up your sandpaper. Okay, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's nice and shiny. Once that happens, once that sandpaper gets shiny, it doesn't sand anymore. You're basically just polishing at that point. You don't want to just throw that sheet away. You'll lose your ass in sandpaper if you do every minute or two changing sheets. That's not going to work. So what you're going to do is you're going to take an old knife or an old putty knife or anything metal with a decently sharp edge. This knife isn't really sharp. It's just an old beater Kershaw that I put in the top of my toolbox. Stopped carrying them when they stopped being American made and moved to China. So now it's my sandpaper cleaning tool. And what you're going to do is you're just going to just kind of scrape that crap off of there. See that? Get that shininess off of there. Once you get that shininess off, it'll sand again, just like new sandpaper. And you're going to have to do this 3 or 4 times, every 5 or 6 minutes. Whenever you start not feeling any tension on your sander, when it's just gliding through, no matter how hard you push, you know that your sandpaper is loaded up and it's glossed over. Give it a good cleaning and then get back to sanding. Next, the differences in sandpaper that you're going to use on a job like this. This is a quarter sheet palm sander. All right, it's the sander you're going to use the most. It's very, very handy. They're very inexpensive. There's 2 forms of sandpaper that you can use for this particular model. A full sheet that you cut into squares. You just fold it in half, cut it, fold it in half, cut it, and then use the springs, the mechanical springs, to hold the sandpaper on. That's what you want to do. Don't waste your time buying stick fast. This is stick fast sandpaper for the quarter sheet palm sander. These are your 2 options for this sander. Okay, full sheets or stick fast. Stick fast, as you can see, it's got a piece of paper on it, right? And it's got glue. And you're meant to stick this on the bottom of your palm sander. And I mean, it works really, really good for about a minute. And then as soon as you start getting sawdust flying around, it starts getting coated on the back of your stick fast, and it stops sticking to your palm sander and it turns into complete garbage. I mean, it falls right off your sander as you're going. I believe this stuff was invented by the Japanese as retribution for what we did in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. I mean, it's absolutely torturous. You end up with a brand new piece of sandpaper that now all you're going to do with it is hand sand because it's not going to stick to your machine anymore. And the way they make it, the size they make it, you can't actually use the mechanical springs to hold it on. So as soon as the little sticky part gets coated in any kind of dust of any kind, it's fucked and it's garbage. All right, the kind that I really like is called hook and latch. Hook and latch is basically Velcro. All right. This is a interior corner sander. It only comes with hook and latch. There's no mechanical way to affix sandpaper to it. So you got to buy the hook and latch, or you can buy the stick fast. But as I said, don't buy the stick fast. This stuff actually works really good. Okay, it gets on there and it's stuck. The only problem with this setup is once you actually start hogging into it and really working with the tool, the actual plastic on the hook part of the Velcro on the machine, you can actually get it hot enough to melt it, and then the edges don't want to stick anymore. But I mean, this tool, like I bought the Ryobi because they're cheap, and I really don't want to have to sand inside interior corners too often. So I didn't bother buying, like a Bosch or something really nice. They make replacement parts for it, the hook and latch pad, if you happen to, burn yours more than I've burnt mine. But I mean, it's $23. So I think the part is like $7. You might as well save yourself the trouble of actually disassembling the unit, and just throw this fucking thing away and buy a new one for $23. But that is about it for sandpaper, because it's fucking sandpaper. I mean, it's got grit, it sands, it gets loaded up, you scrape it away, it's sandpaper. It doesn't get any simpler than that. All right, if you enjoyed this video, though I can't imagine how anyone would, please like, subscribe, all that silly sharing social media stuff. Thank you very much. Episode 7.